What is up guys, it's your boy I'm here, back with another Palworld video. Now today we're going to talk about optimizing your base in the brand new Feybreak update for Palworld, talking about some of the brand new pals you can get for your base, and how to simply make your base way more efficient and way more effective, and just getting a better base overall. Now, I'm going to show you something here with the monitoring station, which is not anything new to the Feybreak update, but this one is pretty relevant and we can do something new here that we haven't really been able to in the past. The thing is, not everyone even knows about this, so when you go to building something and you go to PAL, you will see monitoring stand, and this one can be used to fix assignments for your pals, so you don't have to manually throw them into some type of work. You can just click, for example, power generator. I can put the Grisbolt to only work on the power generator, and you can do the same thing with basically everything you see here: the logging sites, the sulfur mine, the stone pit, coal mine, ore mine, and even your breeding farms. So you can basically assign people from this monitoring stand instead of picking them up and throwing them to work. Now, one of the new things we can do here that we couldn't do previously, well, we could always set a work preference, but you weren't, not preference, but setting work mode. Now, I currently have normal work mode. Some people might want to use the relaxed work mode as well. Back in the Sakurajima update, we were able to push this to hard work quite consistently. The thing is, now we can do it incredibly consistently. We can do both hard work and sometimes even the super hard work as well. And this is thanks to a couple of new pals that makes your pals way more efficient and dropping sun even slower. Now, the pal to do that is the Shroomer Noct, or even the regular Shroomer as well, but the benefit of being the Noct Shroomer is that that's a dark type and a grass type, so he will by essence be nocturnal, so you don't need to have nocturnal on your Shroomers. If you have a regular Shroomer, you pretty much want to have nocturnal, but by having a Shroomer Noct, they come with nocturnal trait by being a dark type. That frees up one of those passive skills, so you can have more for work speed, or workaholic, or heart of the immovable mountain, or something, immovable king, right? Something like that. So it just frees up a spot to make your Shroomers even better. Now, if you look at the partner skill, it's called Swooshy Spores. Right here, and this one, while at a base, the mysterious spores slow the rate at which the sand values of allies at the base decreases, and you can see the baseline here is 10%, and when he's fully condensed, so level 5, it's 15%. I believe so far people have been testing this quite a bit, and there's no real point in having more than 3 Shroomers per base, but you can have up to 3. You can have more as well. The benefit here is stacked, so if you have 3 of them, that is basically minus 45% if they're all level 5. So you definitely want to have Shroomers at most of your bases, if not even all of your bases, especially the ones where you do a lot of work just to make sure the palace stay sane for longer and they can do more work every single day. Now, aside from that, we have 2 more pals as well with some other partner skills that benefit your base. So for example, we have this one right here called Lulu, and as you can see, the partner skill here is called Floral Boost. While at a base, Lulu fills the farm with good spirits, increasing the growth rate of the crops, and the baseline here, level 1, is plus 25%, and the level 5 one is plus 50%. That's the growth rate of the crops, right? So they just grow at a higher rate. So once again, plus 25% is baseline, but you can condense it and get it fully condensed for plus 50%. That is quite massive. Likewise, you also have this one right here called Prunelia, with a partner skill called Prayer for Abundant Harvest. Now, while at the base, Prunelia's prayers bless the crops, increasing their harvest. So here we have the harvest number being increased, so the yield per harvest, and the baseline is 18%, and fully condensed is 35%, basically double. So you definitely want to have these 2 right here at any base where you are growing crops, and we're gonna get back into that right now, because when it comes to being efficient, You can't have unlimited pals at your base unless you're using a mod, which is primarily available on PC, I believe. But if you're not using a mod, you are limited to how many pals you can have at your base. In that case, you want to get these pals right here into a base where you're hyper focusing on farming crops. So to give you an example here of how to make your base efficient with that, this right here is my first ever base, and it's my overall base, and it looks really bad. Like, first of all, I haven't stacked these assembly lines, and I'm not going to, just because this base to me is incredibly nostalgic. It was my first base ever, and I have no plans of ever doing anything with the base. But for my other bases, I've started doing like specific bases. So this one right here is my mining base all the way over here, with crude oil mining, regular mining bases, just fully mining only at this base. And we also have a ranch only base all the way down here, for example. This one, everything that is happening at this base is ranch. I think I have 12 ranches up and going, where I'm farming milk, eggs, anything you can do at the ranch. So we just have a bunch of ranch at this base. Likewise, I'm working on a base right now on the brand new island, where the plan is to only have crops. So at that base, if we go back to the partner skills, I am planning to have, first of all, a Prunelia, or a couple of Prunelias to increase the growth rate, or the harvest yield of the crops as well, as you can see here. Just to get this one right here, I'm going to have 1 or 2 Prunelias working at that farm. We're going to have a couple of Lulus working at the farm as well to increase the growth rate of the crops, and we're going to have a couple of Shroomers. So let's just say we have 3 Shroomers, we have 2 Lulus, and 1 Prunelia. That is 6 pals that is taking up a space just to boost the other pals. In that case, you want to make sure you have as many farmers as possible on that farm or on the base, so you take fully advantage of the benefits given to you by these pals. You don't want to have them taking up 6 slots for every single base you have. That is just wasting the slots that you have available. So instead of farming crops at every single base, let's just say you have 1 or 2 or 3 farms at every single base. Why not just have one base where you have like 50 farms that you're only farming crops, and that is the only thing you're doing at that base? It just makes that base way more efficient, and you can then use these pals even more efficiently as well. Now, once you have gotten a couple of Shroomer Nocts, and you have a couple, like let's just say 2 at every single base, preferably 3, but let's just say 2, between 2 and 3. Once you have that at every single base, you can then go to your monitoring stand, and you can set the work mode to at least hard, and see how that works out. You obviously want to have some other things in your base as well, like for example, you want to have this one right here, the hot spring, so they have that available to them. And there's one more thing we got access to right now in this current update that makes your base even more efficient as well. This is a building, so if you go over here, and I think it's not in PAL, but I think it's in the other part over here, where you can build some brand new things that we haven't been able to in the past. If we go to infrastructure, we have alpha wave generator and beta wave generator. So you can see this one first, the alpha wave generator. A device that generates alpha waves to relax pals. It slows the rate at which sand values of allies at the base decreases. Placing more than 2 will not have any additional effect. So you can place 2 of them and they stack up to 2, but having more than 2 does nothing for you, but you want to have 2 of them. And then you have the beta wave generator as well, a device that emits beta waves to energize pals. It increases the work speed of pals in the base. Placing more than 1 will not have additional effects. So for me, I have 1 beta generator right here and 2 alphas right next to it, and this will benefit this entire base, and you want to build that in every single base that you have. Now, to give you an idea of what my super crop farming base is going to look like, we are once again going, let's just go back here, we're going to have at least 3 Shroomers in that base, we're going to have 2 Lulus in the base, we're going to have 1 Prunelia in the base as well, and then the plan is just to stack as many plantations and farms as we can in this place. So over here we have a bunch of berry farms right here that is mainly to keep themselves fed. So if you go here, we have a bunch of berries that they're eating all the time, and over here we are making a whole damn bunch of wheat, and the plan is to scale this even more when we get more pals. I'm still in the process of breeding the perfect pals to have in the space, but I've started building what I wanted to look like. So we're gonna have this one right here, and I'm probably gonna stack at least 8 more plantations. So like we have one stack right here, one stack right here, and the plan is to just stack all the way down on this side. And this base right here is mainly going to be for gathering wheat and regular farms, or crops basically. Anything that I can gather from crops will be at this base, and we're hyper focusing on that aspect. The main thing here is once again just to have individual bases hyper focusing on one thing at a time, especially when it comes to farming, because we now have 2 pals that directly benefit and they give you bonuses towards gathering and towards farming, increasing the farming yield and the growth rate of crops. So try to benefit as much as you can from those benefits, and also have a breeding base. Having a breeding base has saved me so much time. Just having every single breeding station in the same base is just such a good quality of life. And yes, I know we now have the massive incubators for the eggs, right? It's still really good to have every single breeding place in one base, if you can, or at least have as many as possible in one place. And the reason for that is that you don't have to travel back and forth and have those loading screens when hatching eggs. I think I have halved my time hatching eggs by having all of them in one base, so that one as well really just saves a lot of time. And yeah, that's really about it. Just a couple of tips and tricks when it comes to how to maximize your base and getting more efficiency on your base as well. So if you want to learn more about where I have my base and why I have my bases at those locations, I have a video talking about the best base locations in the Feybreak update that I'll be leaving a link to down below in the pinned comment. So check that out if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, and if you have any additional tips and tricks to share, then do so in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video very soon.